the final business and markets week in February is Monday the 24th. Hello everyone, welcome to the show. Hope you had a very great weekend. Just a quick run through our markets last week. Let's start with Egypt. As always, on Sunday, the EGX 30 in Cairo, where the market opened the start of the weekend, is about 0.25%, a quarter of a percent on the downside. The rest of the region and the Middle East will be opening today, so we'll see what the Egyptian market will look like on Monday to start the rest of to continue the rest of the week, the rest of the continent. The Nigerian market Friday was 0.1% in the red. The market fell back after the central bank decided on Thursday to hold interest rates and change that to the current at 27.5%, watching the latest rebase inflation about 24.48%. The PRVM in Cote d'Ivoire continued on the upward trajectory for the all of last week, 0.88% to cap that on Friday. The Nairobi stock market pulled back for just two sessions toward the end of last week after we saw some very strong upside earlier in the week, 132.81 for the EGX 30. Johannesburg stock market eked out just 5 basis points on Friday. The rand was trading 18.31 on the dollar. Zimbabwe stock market was closed on Friday for the National Youth holiday. So the Zimbabwean stock market was just about 189.87. That was on Thursday. The Ghana stock market was a little bit in the positive 1.6% on Friday as well. Let's get out of the markets, get into a couple of headlines to start. As always, East Africa. Kenya is going to get that 1.5 billion, roughly $1.5 billion loan from the United Arab Emirates this week, and it's going to be the full money on the table, not in tranches as earlier thought. And that's going to be a first major financial inflow into Nairobi's President Ruto's economy since the start of the year from the United Arab Emirates. In the meantime, some good news as Kenya, as S&P, Standard & Poor's Global Ratings have completed a 6-month review of Kenya, is now assigning the biggest economy in East Africa a B- rating and a stable outlook. That's some good news for the authorities in Nairobi. In the meantime, Portland Cement, listed on the Nairobi bourse, is starting to repaying the government-backed loans of about 1.9, roughly 2 billion Kenyan shillings. In Uganda, Airtel, listed on the stock market, will be paying $267 million in gross dividends to shareholders after the companies reported a profit surge for last year. And finally, in that region, Ethiopia says it saved $1 billion on wheat imports because the country's local production of wheat is soaring. That's good news for Prime Minister Abiy. Let's come to West Africa. Nigerian market last week. Again, the biggest story was the rebasing of the country's inflation. Then a few days later, the central bank decided to hold interest rate. The next meeting for the MPC will be March the 19th to 20. Let's see how things go between now and then. I beg your pardon, May. That's going to be May, not March. The central bank has rejigged its calendar of monetary policy committee meetings. No longer 6-7 meetings in a year. It's going to be 5 meetings in a year. So the first in February, the second is going to be in May. So it's going to scatter all over to the rest of the year. In the meantime, investors saw the central bank hold interest rate. All the other parameters, CRR, liquidity ratio, were also unchanged, including the asymmetric corridor around the NPR. So all of that got investors pile into the secondary window for trading. Effectively, the FMDQ Securities Exchange, more than 1.2 trillion naira was popped into the secondary fixed income market last week, chasing yields at that window. At the central bank primary market auction for the week was on the downside as far as yields were stock rates were concerned. Stocks softened the way. We'll talk about that. The naira remains steady. News says that the central bank, news report says that the central bank has spent about $8 billion defending the local currency against the US dollar. Still in the market street, RiceVest says it's bought Nigeria a broker-dealer license via its affiliate. That's RiceVest Financial Securities. RiceVest is one of the newly licensed online brokerage firm by the SEC. In Senegal, still in West African region, is reassuring investors on the country's debt stability and the bond market surging. And finally, the EFDB has unveiled the list of successors that's looking to succeed Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, who will be leaving office later this year. The annual general meeting of the EFDB in Cote d'Ivoire will be at the end of May. The election there will be the 29th, as it were. Adesina has completed his 2 terms of 5 years each as the head of the development finance institutions. At least 4 contestants are on the top of that list, and you can read up on those names who will likely succeed Dr. Akumi Adesina. Take you to Southern Africa. Not so good news with Stage 6 ESCOM load shedding over the weekend. That was no good news after the country spent about a year and a little bit over a year sustaining no power outage. Then the news report says there was a bit of a shutdown on some of the units of ESCOM, and that Stage 6 load shedding happened. But that's now been reversed as it were. Another new week. Yes, the G20 ministers meeting last week. They're going to have the finance track meeting holding from today till the end of the week, also in Johannesburg. The World Bank, however, is proposing a two-pronged proposal to help South Africa rebound its economy. The first is an increase in market competition, and the second is an improved institutional efficiency. The World Bank says if you do those two, you get your economy right. South Africa is also looking to get roughly 30 billion rand in fresh funding from the World Bank. In Zimbabwe, the Zimbabwe Stock Exchange and the VFEX, that's the Victoria Falls Exchange, are now requiring all listed companies to publish their sustainability report effective January 1, 2024 financial record year. That is mandatory. And President Mnangagwa has led the groundbreaking of the $3.6 billion Bedbridge Industrial Park. That's earlier today. That's the Monday, the 24th of February. And 1.5 of South Africans pay 61% of all government income tax in the Africa's most advanced economy. And that's according to latest report. We've got a whole lot more to talk about today, but let's just move on to North Africa, where the Egypt's banking sector is expanding sustainable finance initiatives, according to our Daily News of Egypt reporting this Monday. In Morocco, the country has emerged as the key North African market for Turkish exports. That's a very important information to note, because Morocco is that iconic gateway to Africa and into the Northern Corridor, sitting strategically with Europe. Morocco, also the electricity regulator, has also set a new tariff for power distribution. That will be effective 1st of March 2025 until later in February 2027. And finally, not so good news for Morocco as Rwanda. Good news for Morocco as Rwanda lost 64-79 in the AfroBasket qualifiers match over the weekend. The AfroBasket tournament will be holding March 23rd to 26th. Rwanda lost again to Morocco. That's the field of play, money in sports. That's just about it for this Monday to get your business and markets week started. Whatever you do this week, make sure it's profitable. Do have a great day, everyone, and a great week ahead.